plagued with exploding battery issues, but this doesn't stop it from being one of the top smartphones on the market. I'm going to start off by comparing LG's latest offering, the V20, to the Note 7. Both phones offer a Snapdragon 820 processor, but some notes, depending on the geography, offer Samsung's own Exynos processor. Both have 4GB of RAM, a micro SD card slot, a 5.7-inch QHD display, USB Type-C port, and a single speaker on the bottom. The V20's display is IPS Quantum, which is a fancy term for LG's special IPS technology. The Note 7 sports a Super AMOLED display with dual curves on the side, which offer Edge UX. So this was previously offered on the S6 Edge series. LG also offers an extra method of interacting with the handset in their second screen. It appears above the V20's main display and gives you additional information depending on what section of the phone you're in. The V20 gives back the lead to the Note 7 when it comes to battery life. But you can remove the battery on both LG handsets, giving you a full charge instantly. The V20 and Note 7 feel extremely solid in hand and generally have the same footprint with mostly flat backs, though the Note 7 is a little shorter and much narrower. The G5 has a similar aesthetic and it feels nearly as durable as its larger competitors, but experience has taught me that the mechanism to eject the battery has been plagued with issues, while the V20 has a pop-off back with the same button, but you can tell by the construction that LG has learned a lot and iterated and made a very solid mechanism. The Note 7 and the V20 have more in common than the G5 and the V20, even though they're both made by LG. The G5 is smaller and embraces a modular design, which is a great concept whose next generation is going to be killer. The G5 is 5.3 inches, which is a lot more friendly for single-handed use or for those looking for something slightly more pocket-friendly. The G5 lacks a secondary method of interacting with the handset. On the Note 7, the Edge UX has even improved, now offering third-party app support, while the secondary screen on the V20 remains similar to what was offered on the V10. When you put the G5 beside the V20, it's easy to see that LG is going for two completely different markets. The G5 is definitely their more mainstream device, while the V20 is a content production powerhouse. The high-end audio alone makes this a very interesting offering for anyone who really wants to make content with their smartphone. The fact that you can decide which direction you want the microphone to focus in on, so you can actually pull it back if you're speaking from behind the phone, or push it forward if you're trying to capture someone else's audio. And when you look at the camera, I just have to utter two words that take down the G5 and the Note 7: focus peaking. If you don't know what that is, it's the green lines that show you what's in focus, and it gives you way more control, more like a DSLR, if you really want to look at where you want to draw the focus of attention when you're shooting video. Now the Note 7 comes with a 12 megapixel shooter, and the LGs have the dual cameras, which mean that you can either go wide angle, which is great. The V20 has a much more pronounced camera bump, which isn't aesthetically as pleasing as the G5. With their ability to go wide angle, really do take down just the very simple, very small frame that's offered inside the Note 7. When it comes to camera quality, I was actually really surprised that the V20 isn't as strong as the G5 and both the Note 7. You can see that the colors are slightly washed out. Nighttime performance on all the handsets is actually pretty decent. The V20 definitely took it ahead of the G5 when it comes to nighttime performance, much less noisy, and is actually a little more comparable to the Note 7 when taking pictures at night. It's a beautiful day at the Shilla Hotel here in Seoul, and I'm gonna put the video quality on these three devices to the test. One thing that's especially interesting, the G5's got the wide angle lens. Now what about the V20 that has the hi-fi audio recording? So here I have it directed towards me, and then I'm going to push this to the front, and hopefully that's capturing more water noise. And back, and forward. What do you guys think? When it comes to video performance, side by side, the Note 7 and the V20 look absolutely identical. In this instance, side by side, the Note 7 doesn't quite have the contrast in the sky like the LG devices do. But at night, the Note 7 pulls ahead of the V20 significantly. When taking photos, you can get good contrast in manual, but I found in video it's a little tougher. Here's the Note 7, again looking pretty sharp. Now the V20 tends to look a little bit cooler when it comes to video and less saturated. So when it comes down to it, the Note 7 is an all-around stronger handset. Its photo capabilities are more reliable as a point and shoot than what we have on the V20 right now. But the V20's audio capabilities, like I've said, are absolutely unparalleled. I just think we need a little bit of color tweaking, which if you're going to pull this off your phone into an editing software, maybe you're not so fussed about. I'm going to be making a lot more videos with the V20. I'm curious to see how this performs as a vlogging device. Don't miss out by subscribing to our channel. I'm your host, Nicole Scott for Mobile Geeks.